The Story of Iron Women, a short story based on true events by Vahid Sajadafar.
Sarah was always a woman full of hope and dreams. She married a man named Amir, who initially seemed kind and caring. However, a few months into their marriage, Amir's true nature began to show. The first signs of his violence appeared shortly after their wedding. Amir would get angry over the smallest issues and yell at Sarah. Yet, Sarah hoped these behaviors were temporary. One day, while Sarah was preparing dinner, Amir entered the house angrily. He had no reason for his anger, but started shouting at Sarah. Sarah tried to stay calm and speak to him, gently, but Amir lost control, and threw a plate against the wall. Terrified, Sarah fell to the floor and began to cry. Amir, ignoring her, went to his room and slammed the door. Sarah always cried silently after these fights. She couldn't understand why the man who once embraced her with so much love had turned into someone who scared her so much. Every time Amir got angry, Sarah felt her heart break into pieces. A few months later, Sarah became pregnant. She hoped this happy news would change Amir. When she told him he was going to be a father, Amir briefly showed signs of joy and smiled. But this change didn't last. Amir reverted to his old habits, and his violence even worsened. One night, while Sarah was arranging baby clothes in their future child's room, Amir entered the room angrily. He started yelling at her for being late with dinner. Sarah, frightened, tried to calm him and explain that she was preparing the baby's room. But Amir didn't listen. He raised his hand and slammed Sarah against the wall. Sarah groaned in pain and fell to the floor. In the following weeks, Sarah noticed she couldn't feel any movement from her baby. Worried, she went to the doctor and received devastating news: her baby had died due to the trauma. This news darkened Sarah's world. The woman who had always been hopeful now sank into deep depression. Days and nights became an endless nightmare for Sarah. She felt there was no way out of this hell. Every time she thought about her lost baby, an infinite sadness filled her heart. She no longer had hope or motivation to continue living. But one day, as Sarah sat in the living room looking at a picture of her unborn child, she made a decision. She couldn't let her life end in this cycle of violence and pain. She had to be strong for herself, and for the baby who never had a chance to live. Sarah slowly began packing her belongings. She decided she had to leave the house and start a new life. With every step she took towards leaving that house, she felt a greater sense of freedom. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but she was determined to escape violence and oppression once and for all. With the help of friends and family, Sarah found a place to start her new life and began rebuilding. Each passing day, she felt stronger. She attended counseling sessions, talked to women who had similar experiences, and gradually emerged from the shadows of her past. Years later, Sarah became an independent and strong woman. She no longer feared facing life, and saw her bitter memories as experiences that made her stronger. She knew she would never allow anyone to oppress her again. Sarah now helped others escape the cycle of violence and showed them there was always hope for a new beginning. Her new life was full of hope and love, and every day she welcomed new days with a smile of freedom and optimism for the future. Years after freeing herself from the chains of violence and oppression, Sarah became an advocate for women's rights. She helped many women with similar experiences find a way to escape this hell. One of these women was Elham. Elham was a young woman trapped in a life with an abusive husband, much like Sarah once was. Her husband, Masoud, would get angry over the smallest issues and turned Elham's life into a nightmare with his shouting and physical violence. Every day, she lived in fear and terror in a house that should have been her sanctuary. She didn't know how to escape this cycle of violence until the day she met Sarah. Sarah met Elham at one of the counseling sessions organized for women experiencing violence. Elham, deeply scared and hopeless, shared her life story with Sarah and the others with great difficulty. Her eyes were full of tears, and her body bore the bruises from Masoud's violence. Sarah listened attentively to Elham's story, and, when she finished speaking, approached her and took her hands. With eyes full of understanding and compassion, she said, "I understand your story because I was once in the same situation. But believe me, you can escape this. I'm here to help you." With Sarah's guidance and support, Elham decided she needed to escape this hellish life. Sarah helped her devise a safe and detailed escape plan. With the help of friends and the support network Sarah had built over the years, they found a safe place for Elham. One night, while Masoud was away on a business trip, Elham, with the help of Sarah and her friends, fled the house. She left with only a few clothes and her identification documents, heading to the safe place they had prepared for her. The first few days were difficult for Elham. She struggled with her fears, and couldn't believe she no longer had to live with daily violence and humiliation. But over time, and with the support of Sarah and the counselors, Elham gradually regained her confidence and peace of mind. Elham participated in group counseling sessions, and shared her story with others. She learned that others had been in the same situation, and that she was not alone. This helped her feel stronger and more confident. A few months later, Elham decided to build a new life for herself. She attended skill training classes, and found a job that gave her financial independence. Slowly, she established her own home, and began rebuilding her life. Sarah was always by Elham's side, encouraging her to look to the future with hope. Elham knew she owed her escape from this hell to Sarah's support and love. One day, Elham told Sarah, "You were my savior. If it weren't for you, I might never have escaped that terrible life. Now, I want to help others like you did." Sarah responded with a warm smile, "That's the best decision you can make." Helping others not only empowers them, but also gives you a sense of satisfaction and purpose. Elham decided to join support groups and help women who were experiencing similar violence. With the experience and knowledge she had gained from her difficult life, she was able to give many other women hope and strength. Years later, Elham became an advocate for women's rights, and collaborated with Sarah to organize workshops and counseling sessions. Together, they helped many women escape the cycle of violence and start new lives. Elham and Sarah, two strong women who had risen from the ashes of their past lives, became beacons of hope for others. Each passing day, they helped more women break free from the prison of violence and experience lives filled with hope and freedom. Over the years, Elham and Sarah became an energetic and capable team. They not only participated in counseling sessions and workshops but also decided to establish a non-profit organization called Light of Hope. This organization aimed to support women experiencing violence by providing counseling, shelters, and empowerment services to help them rebuild their lives. Light of Hope quickly grew, benefiting many women. Every day, new stories emerged of women who, with Elham and Sarah's help, had escaped the cycle of violence and built new lives.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.